I said, a credit union, what's that? I had no clue. So I agreed to go, and we went to Iroquois High School. And some of you may remember around the city school system, they always had auditoriums in their high schools, and that's where they had this annual meeting. And I remember two things from that meeting: Rex Anderson and gifts. Well, the gifts are still around, but unfortunately Rex is not. But I have to say, that night, Rex Anderson displayed some excitement. He's a dedicated board member. I'm assuming that he was the MC for the annual meeting, much like I served when I was chairman of this credit union. Rex was, like I say, he was excited about the credit union, and he was passionate about it. And I've learned over the years that those people who have passion about whatever endeavor they engage in, if you have that passion, then you will be successful. And I often think about the person who gets up in the morning and says, "Good Lord, morning," or "Good morning, Lord." I'm morning with that attitude, then you're going to be pretty successful in your day's work. Let me just go on and I jotted some things down because in making preparation to step away from this, I just wanted to say a few words. But I'm thinking about the station wagons, and I can imagine those 5 kids back there with no GPS, no games to play, etc. It had to be a din of noise in there. Now the 2 that are riding back there, they're not having much to say to each other because they're texting to each other. Go figure. Back in the 70s, when I was elected to this board, I had no idea what it took to be a chairman or a board member. No clue. Didn't have any background in finances other than growing up as a kid. The banks used to give us those little folders that you could put coins in, and you save. You always save for a rainy day. Unlike this generation who, if it comes in, it's got to go out. But I was brought up save for a rainy day. Anyway, back because our asset size was not the greatest, we didn't have enough money we could send board members on conferences throughout the country where they might be held. We couldn't afford to, and there wasn't, the best I remember, there really wasn't that many that were available like they are this day and time. So finally, along came a solution to that problem, and that was, as has been mentioned, the VAP modules, Volunteer Achievement Program. Well, again, working with the former CEO, I suggested that we make it mandatory for board members within 12 months of their election, they had to get 18 hours of credit so that they could function on a board of directors with some knowledge and background of what the credit unions were all about. And of the current board members at that time, and there might have been, I don't know if we had 11 or 9 back there, but anyway, there was only one person that refused to do these modules. The rest of them got in and got it done. Now, let me also say that you met the committee members tonight. I'm stepping away from this board of directors soon, feeling the very best about what's coming along, because these volunteers, there's two examples down there, James and Jeremy. All these committee members are invited to be at our board meetings. So they're learning as we go along. And when it comes time for a replacement such as myself, I feel very confident they're going to be able to step in, any one of them, and pick up the ball and go with it. So I congratulate those committee members that made themselves available. There was a time when we were actually begging people and searching, and we finally got enough people interested to come be that. And so I congratulate you all on that. One of my fondest memories of the credit union, since I've been associated with it, was out at the facility on Proper Level Road. How many of you remember the storefront, the old Royal Bank building out there? That was the place I like to tell people where you come in on payday or whatever day, and the queue line going to the teller stations. You pass by Susie, I think Susie was with us, and she'd be sitting there talking to one person or a member about a loan. You go to the next desk, there'd be another one perhaps. So you couldn't help hardly from hearing what they were talking about, but it was a crowded situation. I remember the break room. It was about probably that big. They had a thing in there called, I don't know what you call it, it was a refrigerator and a range, and what else did it have? You remember it. It was a piece of work. I don't know how those people survived. But anyway, that was one of the things that I really remember about the whole time. Let me also say that there's about three things that I remember that I jotted some notes down. Is one, at one time I suggested we had credit union ambassadors, and we would designate a person at each building, whether it be a school building, office building, central office, whatever. And that person would be our spokesperson for the credit union. Well, that lasted a little while, and then it kind of waned away. So whether it was successful, I don't know. We got to hope that it was. Another thing that I was somewhat responsible for, I suggested, because we were an educational credit union. And by the way, if you look on the back of this agenda, the only thing that's on there that was there when I came on board is Jefferson County Public Schools employees, and it should have said and families, because family membership was available. There was one other group, and I don't even remember the name of it, that there was a very small group of employees somewhere, and you remember the name of it, that was in our field of membership. I know Mary Ann probably remembers it, but we've got quite a lengthy list of people that are eligible to join our credit union at this point in time. But that was a scholarship program. I suggested that because we're educational, that we give a $500 scholarship. And I think at that time we only gave one. Now we're giving three by age group, which we're going to have a drawing here tonight, I believe. And I think we probably need to up the ante a little bit on these $500 scholarships. Them probably would buy 2 good textbooks. But anyway, I guess the best thing that came along was the VAT modules, because the VAT modules and then the STAR program, I didn't have anything to do with that STAR program. That was a program for the employees. But I think the VAT modules is what got this board really taken off with the credit union movement. And I had the distinct pleasure of serving, Lynn said 15 years, I didn't remember if it was 14 or 15 years. It wasn't because I desired to be the chairman that many years, it just nobody else would step forward. But after we got able to make some conference visitations around the country, Cindy and some others got to thinking about, well, you know, we need to think about rotating this membership, chairmanship, and do it for 3-year blocks of time. So that encouraged us to do so, and I think, let's see, who was the first? Bob, were you the first chairman that went on that rotation? So Bob was on the first one. I think it was followed by Cindy, and now Joe's completing 9 years. So I've been out of the chairmanship for 9 years now. And you know, that highway between here and Jamestown gets longer and longer each night when I leave after a board meeting going home. I just calculated over there a while ago about 12 months a year, one times almost 22 years, plus some other events such as annual meetings. I've probably done over 170, 250 mile round trips. And, you know, if I wasn't passionate about this, I wouldn't have done it. So I'm not saying I'm sorry to have to give that up, because like I say, that road's getting longer and longer, especially if I'm driving home at night. And when I go down I-65 with them big trucks boxing me in, it's a trip. I'm always thankful to get to eat them, because then I can get off and say bye to them, and then it's nobody. But I have enjoyed this opportunity to serve on this credit union. I feel good about the future, and I will be in touch with them. I will continue to have Class Act as my primary financial institution, even though I'm 430 miles away. And the reason I'm going over there is because Pat and I can't depend on our son to bring us groceries every week when we need them. So thank you again for your attendance and for your attention, and take care going home.